Stars is a crazy place in oh so many ways. Let's try to make some sense of it on Spiritfolk Saturdays.
Welcome to the weekly film and tech-based podcast, Spiritfolk Saturdays. Today we're here to talk about episode 94, part 8 of the Everything is on Fire arc. I'm your host Elfie, Spirit of Ice. Joining us this week are Raven,
Spirit of Shoulders,
and Thero.
Spirit of hard drive failure.
Let's see where to start. Oh, I have episode title suggestions. Beginnings of History Lesson, Waterfall Warrior, and Double Vision.
I think it should be something about the Waterfall Warrior because we need to honor his loss.
That's why I should call it Double Vision, because there are two Marcuses on the screen at once.
But we have like 5 Marcuses sometimes.
How about Wherefore art thou, Waterfall Warrior?
I like it.
Lord. We know where he is non-existent anymore.
Is he though? Is he really?
I almost imagine that the next time Marcus tries to summon a double, it's gonna be him.
That is what I'm hoping so much.
I think that's the primary theory at this point.
That'd be nice. I kind of like him.
I like how when Marcus unsummoned him, everyone just started, like, crying. He's just really confused. Like, it's just a clone. I don't understand this.
He was not a clone anymore. He had individual sentience.
He was his son. I have so many theories about that, by the way.
Oh my god, Marcus's reaction to being called father. Somebody's got some issues there, dude.
As if the Adventure Diaries mentioning his father weren't bad enough.
One of the theories is, like, is Marcus going to take on traits of the Waterfall Warrior, but the other one is, like, how does that work if the clones are typically kind of, like, facets of his personality, or what is even going on there? This entire episode was really weird.
Oh, I had another theory. Waterfall Warrior becomes his new Spirit Sherpa. His really angry, bitter Spirit Sherpa.
His Spirit Sherpa hates him and calls him father just to piss him off.
It has to be the new double or a Spirit Sherpa. They can't just, like, erase something that great. I will be so sad.
I feel like it's the inverse of, like Darth Vader for some reason. That's what it reminds me of.
You are my father. No!
Yeah, exactly.
Marcus can face down abominations, can't face down responsibilities.
I do wonder if he does. I think he definitely does have some daddy issues.
Oh yeah.
I think we've seen evidence of this fact.
Yeah.
Dude, he has canonically stated he has daddy issues.
Yeah.
I mean, he tried to make them sound past tense, but no. No, nice try, Marcus. They're still there.
I was wondering if that would be what Marcus was just like in general, if he gave up the whole whatever he
Steaming of
was
his ear.
just followed Zek's teachings.
And Zeke never even got to see it.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's super sad.
Because all the clan leaders are mysteriously absent.
Absent as in they're in whatever that little town is that name I've forgotten.
Yocha?
That's it.
I'm going to use this to cite the fact that I kept saying that the Enorians were worse than the Spiritfolk in this war. And pointing to that pillar, I am going to say, fucking told you so.
I have something to say to Jay about that pillar. Alright, where the fuck do you even find a pillar that looks like that? What the hell kind of resource site are you using for these maps? Like, at this point, I just want to know, just to be able to make these kind of maps. Like, I want that pillar, and I want those pink trees.
Wow.
My question regarding the pillar is, like, I know there is a difference, but what is the difference between the heart pillar and the kind of thing that's going on with, like, Ashel? Like, the binding of spirit folk to things as a form of punishment.
Because then, okay, this is like putting someone in prison versus separating their consciousness from their body and leaving them in constant agony. Like, different tiers here, bro.
Yeah, also that I'm pretty sure that pillar looked like it was made out of meat.
Oh god. Oh, please
But
tell
I'm
me.
pretty sure that pillar itself is actually made out of spirit folk bodies.
Oh, that is fucked up.
Bodies. And like, see under the grating, everything's that pinky reddish colour. I'm pretty sure that is also just more parts.
I'm going to reply to that and instead suggest it is not made out of multiple spirit folk, it is made out of a spirit folk.
I'm just gonna
It's
hope
still
it's
really cool.
stone, because pretty soon I'm gonna stop cheering for the Enorians at all to even survive. So right now I'll pretend it's stone. Jesus.
It just, if it's not flesh, then it kind of reminds me of the stone in like the nether of Minecraft. And it also just looks like that pinky flesh color.
It also looks like one of the new ones, like diorite or whatever it is.
Granite.
Yeah, one of those ones. They're the same kind
Granite
of.
does not look like that.
About looking and sounding, am I the only one who, when they called it the Heartstone, started thinking, man, they're gonna end up chopping it off and letting everything fall? It is their way.
Well, that's what happened to the other heart pillar. So I mean, or the other, like in the.
Hopefully more people survive this time when they destroy it.
I'm going to say no if that were to happen. I think less people would survive.
There were like 5 survivors last time. If less people survived this time, the party wouldn't all make it.
Okay, on like a ratio scale, then more people will die to the comparison of survivors.
To be fair, a lot of people already have died. Like,
I wonder what the population of Jinkala is.
The population is much decreased. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
Okay, I wonder what the population was at the beginning of romance.
who even frickin' knows?
I'm going to say something like 35,000. Which is a lot, kind of, but at the same time not. I don't know, man. I have really bad trouble picturing out like the perspectives of these worlds. Because there's only so much you can portray on maps.
How has Horvin not destroyed that awful stone abomination yet?
Well, he said that he was tempted to.
Well, I'm wondering if it's something to do with this release that he mentioned. Like if he tries to destroy the power without releasing it, it like destroys all the spirit folk that are trapped or something. I don't know. But he mentioned a release, and I imagined there was some kind of release thing. He can alone activate it, whatever it is. So maybe that's why he hasn't destroyed the pillar yet.
I have several theories. One of them being that they would just come up with another solution, which may or may not be worse. Also, the fact that as many good spirit folk as there are going to be some bad ones or ones who wreak havoc. So, like, as kind of as terrible as it is, it's kind of a, you know,
A safety measure?
yeah.
Holy shit, guys, that's why they wanted the Mobius blood.
I thought it was to make. They have like health potions that are made with spirit folk blood.
Yeah, but that's like, they could make that with any spirit folk's blood. That spirit folk can still later reform. But the Mobius is one of the ones they didn't want to have reform.
Are you calling it the Mobius?
I'm sorry, I forgot the frickin' name.
It's the Phobius.
No, it's a Mobius now. It's a Mobius strip of fear.
I can't remember my other suggestion was going to be why he kept the heart pillar, why he did destroy it.
Maybe because for as much as he has issues with humanity, he doesn't want them all to be slaughtered when all those spirits are released at once and they're pissed as hell.
Yeah, more or less, it's just the kind of the safety of all versus the safety of one. Kind of.
I mean, not one, the safety of like several, but yeah.
I was going to say, it could also be that it can't destroy it alone, or if he tries to destroy it, it's going to kill him.
Well, to be fair, if it was just going to kill him but save a bunch of spirits, I think he might view that as worth it in the end, but at the same time...
But that would be very Horvin the hero, now would it?
That would remove his ability to be a positive influence societally, and to prevent further issues.
Oh, we mentioned last podcast that, what if the tunnels are connected? And yeah, the tunnels are connected. Between, like, the Lily Clan and the Gold Clan. It's like, oh, that's convenient.
Wasn't that mentioned, like, way back when the first, were there, though?
Probably, but we didn't notice it or remember it last week, so,
I think last time anybody went in the direction of that passage, it was when they went to a dead timeline where they crushed Kira after trying to kill the Guildmaster.
Oh, God.
That was fun.
Good times.
I don't recall this.
It was one of the bonus videos, the vault videos.
Well, we saw a fundamental difference between Ash and Marcus and Kier and Gregor.
It was the discussion about how Kier gets letters from these like esteemed like doctors or whatever who are all just variations of Marcus's names and doesn't notice how heartbroken he must
So sad, but so funny.
be. Yeah.
Who was it that yelled something then dove on them?
Someone. I just remember there was a huge dog pile by the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that I think they crushed someone's back.
I want to say it was Marcus.
Oh, ouch. He's a
Probably.
twig already. Jeez.
That's why we gotta
But they
laugh.
were trying to kill the guildmaster, that was it.
Yeah. And they did have as much of a conversation in chat as I expected, but there still is the question of, was it smarter to get rid of the smoke, or would it have been smarter to get rid of the fire?
Oh, definitely the smoke. Smoke is the real killer. And besides, Gregor's been fighting fire his whole life. He has an advantage there.
Yeah, it was probably smarter to get rid of the smoke because even if it's got rid of the fire, it doesn't seem like it's very well ventilated down there. So the
Yeah.
smoke would have hung around anyway, and the only way it would have gotten away would have been by breathing it in, so.
They have freaking Colvin, man. They can punch through the fire.
Colvin probably wouldn't have thought of that. And no one else probably would have, because they didn't do that, so.
My joking suggestion is just get rid of all the air. The smoke would go away and the fire would die.
We are not turning this into the second layer of the Vault of Wonders, Elfie. We tried that best before, remember? We ended up with several people in prison and dead. Some of them both.
Temporarily dead.
Yes, he got better.
Yeah.
And that's what counts.
Also, Marcus can handle eldritch abominations is not like the thought of him having a skeleton inside of him.
I just want to think that, like, every so often when he really pisses off Ash, she's going to, like, make him acutely aware of his own skeleton and walk away.
She's just gonna, I can just see her now, reaching over and grabbing his lip and reaching inside to jab at his teeth.
I feel like that's something Indian would do.
Actually, yeah, probably.
Like, I was thinking about it the other day because it's really easy to make a character who is, like, rude and just offensive, like, in, saying slurs and doing that kind of thing. But Indian is the kind of person who likes to rile up people by not being offensive. And I admire that.
She just tells the truth.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I've heard the line, "I'm just telling it how it is" from assholes too many times. No, I don't buy it. She does not just tell the truth.
Well, she tells the truth in a really mean and condescending way.
She tells her interpretation of the truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
That doesn't make it the real truth.
She's extremely blunt and straightforward about what she says, but it doesn't necessarily mean she is blunt and straightforward.
Sure, okay. Alright, Elfie.
It's like there's a difference between saying things that are the truth and being truthful.
No, there is not.
Yes, there is!
If you're saying she uses misleading statements, that's a very different thing than what you are implying. What you're implying, I don't even know what you're implying.
Anyway.
Dang it, this is gonna bother me all night while I try and figure out what the hell that was supposed to mean.
You're okay with Colvin being vague as hell, but the second I say something you don't understand, you're just like,
Colvin is Colvin. You cannot match Colvin's charm. None of us can. You can match Colvin's charm when you can punch through a building.
I did rather like the way that Colvin screamed when he realised he had a skeleton inside him.
That's because it's a foe he can't beat.
I'm sure he's tried. Colvin and Kier having a private discussion in the back was kind of a scary prospect.
Yeah,
What they've come up with.
I will agree with that. Colvin and Kier is like, so many questions, so little answers.
I actually think that it's more dangerous to have Kier around Marcus. I think that Colvin and Kier might actually cancel each other out to harmless.
Oh, no, but picture Colvin and Kier teaming up to go to space.
Oh, dear.
Because Colvin loves space camp, and Kier is like, that's a brilliant idea. And then they just keep blowing up the front yard with their failed rocket ships.
Oh no.
And now I'm just drawn back to the, yeah, you could practice at home. No, Ash, we live there.
Yep.
That's one of my favorite Gregor moments. Something about the intonation Jackson used.
I think Gregor is one of those characters who has the most, like, little funny moments. Because, like, he has a lot of them and they're always great.
I do kind of hope that the group gets back to their old routine, though, of, like, shifting between who's the straight man and who's the not straight man, and doing the comedy three-way things. I miss those days.
For that to happen, we kind of need Ash to come back, alive and in one piece.
She is in One Piece.
Whoa, guys,
Yeah.
can we agree
For a moment,
that
she
if
was.
we get to see Gregor react to Blue Cloak having almost cleaved her in half, it's either going to end up breaking the party or reforging it.
My first thought was Gregor and Ash have matching scars.
But Ash doesn't have a scar.
Almost. Don't ruin my fun, come on.
Oh, we'll ruin your fun.
So like that thing about that moment with Horvin and Ash, for some reason I can't stop. Just Ash had an entire conversation waving around a sword topless, and Horvin just kind of was like, please put something on. And Ash didn't seem to give two shits.
You know.
I mean, I think she did once she remembered, but like...
Well, no, it was like, when he passed her his cloak, she was like, ah, fine. Like, do I really have to? I'm sorry, what?
We gotta see more of Ash's tattoos, which is...
Dang it, now I really wish that Marcus had been there for that. Marcus and or Thog reacting to that would have been priceless.
I think Thog might have died all.
He's already dead inside Thero.
Alright, maybe this would have brought him back a little.
We need more blushing puppets.
Oh, that would have been fun.
Horvin's cape is like a cape dispenser, which is...
Oh man, No, you go ahead first.
No, that's all I really have to say.
I was just going to say that it would have been like the cover of Wizard High School. For Thog's expression.
Yeah.
Looking away, trying and failing to look like he is not flustered and embarrassed and uncomfortable.
He probably would have lettered his waistcoat.
Honestly, I think he would have been really nonchalant about it, considering how the whole, like, shirtless fighting is a regular thing in Alaron.
I just remembered. Remember when, like, the first time he took his shirt off?
Yeah, and he said, like, get your shit off or get out of here or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think he would have been really nonchalant about it.
He probably would have, yeah. He probably would have looked at her and went, alright, who we killing?
Shit, now I need this even more than blushing Thog. Marcus still needs to blush, though. Somebody needs to be blushing.
Marcus turns into a stammering wreck. All his
Thog
clothes
just
fade away.
teases him.
So somehow, like, you know, she gets stabbed in the side and her tunic falls apart. They all get doused in acid and are fine, like, outfit-wise.
She wasn't stabbed in the side, she was, like, cut in half from overhead.
Yeah.
It was like a Gregor moment from, like, the Golem arc, like, down her shoulder, I'm thinking.
Yeah, downward, at an angle from the shoulder to, like, the opposite hip. Like, brutal shit there.
Yeah, it was like it says a Vihand or sword, so, that's, like, there's a lot of weight behind that and a lot of force. She was lucky to get out of that alive. I'm really curious as to what happened there with the healing, if it was something to do with similar.
Well, I'm thinking that
on top of the wizard tower.
I mean, the way that whole scene went, it seems like Jay wanted it to go in the direction of her getting cut in half, because no amount of attempts at diplomacy seemed to work. Like, that felt almost like a railroaded injury for the sake of that healing. Like, I think that's supposed to show something for later.
Yeah.
So, another question, actually, since you brought up Fog, where the hell is he? He's, like, out there in the middle of all this, and we haven't seen him since he recovered from his mushroom fugue.
We haven't seen several characters, and I worry.
Yeah.
Man, Zelvetta's gonna have the best day ever, though. Like, literally be walking along singing the best day ever song from SpongeBob as he slaughters. Wait, no, they don't bleed. He'll be sad.
They don't scream either.
He liked that the band couldn't scream, though, so that might not be an issue. The bleeding, though, he'll definitely be very disappointed about the bleeding.
Well, they do bleed, just not... They bleed energy, not, like, actual blood.
They bleed fire. That is the opposite of fun.
Marcus seemed okay with it for obvious reasons.
Marcus doesn't count.
Yeah, Ash did crazy healing stuff where she almost died but was perfectly fine. That's
Yeah, I'm thinking it's definitely got something to do with the whatever's inside her, especially since Horvin said he'd done very little.
I think it was a mix of Horvin and her. Like those abilities complemented each other well because he could call out power from spirits, and hers was trying to do that anyway. So he just allowed it to do what it was naturally going to.
yeah. I think it's some of that, and maybe the proximity to other spirits or the heart pillar or something. Because like as good as Ash's healing might be, I just think it doesn't necessarily have the capability to do all that at once and still leave her at the very least conscious.
Well, I mean, she
Yeah.
rebuilt part of Marcus's body. Let's not forget.
Yeah, but she did something. She did almost the exact same thing to Gregor, and look at how much AO she needed. She burned her hand, like the skin of her hand off, in that doing all that healing.
I think it's probably easier to do it on herself. Like if it's something that like would be happening as an automatic response, like her body trying to protect itself or the spirit trying to protect her instead of her trying to actively guide it somewhere, I'd presume it would be easier. Or we just need an excuse for her to survive something now that she leveled up that she wouldn't have before.
I love Horvin. I've decided that Horvin is currently best character for like the next episode or two.
He's a pretty good guy, yeah.
Yeah, that's just honestly just a note in all caps. I love Horvin, so I had to talk about it. He used a term for Aaron, but I didn't write down what it was, and now I don't remember what it was.
Abomination.
Anathema.
Yeah, that.
That's a pretty strong word to use for someone.
A person or thing accursed or consigned to damnation or destruction. Horvin, where did you learn this word?
In some settings, it's a term for a specific creature type. It could be their word for like things that are outside the proper and healthy life cycle, whether they are from a different plane, like outsiders in D&D, or whether they are undead. Because he seemed like he couldn't tell which it was.
He did reluctantly admit that she was human, though. Like, very reluctant. Also, Jay's note at the end that just said, like, Matt, you beautiful bastard, or whatever it was. I think we can all agree with that. We got a new Monsters with Gregor, which was with Gregor and Indian talking about monsters.
So, how many times has Inian visited that cat box place? Because it sounds like a lot.
Well, they did say it's a recurring joke between Jay and Foss, and I would have done if there's like a competition to see how many times they can fit it in relevantly into like episodes.
I think Jay is winning, but he has DM power, so he can cheat.
Yeah, I think his points would have to be divided by the amount of characters he uses.
Or at least divided by 3.
Not really got much else to say. Just note that I noted that they hadn't actually put in the image for the tax goat that kind of left it as the floating pog. Like they did that one time with, what was it? I think it was Zalveta.
I want to say it was Zeke.
It was probably Zeke, yeah.
There's 25 seconds at the end that they just left that was black for whatever reason.
Yeah,
It was moment of silence for the Waterfall Warrior.
probably.
Let's see. Gregory is super smart about the stuff he understands.
Yeah, he does have intelligence. It's just he chooses it to use it on just very specific things.
Inian being extremely vague about herself again. Where Gregor asked if her parents had like dark brown black hair and were also short, and she said no, and then just like moved on. I'd still think she's non-human. I'm not even headcanoning it. That's just a theory. There's a lot of evidence for it. Dang it. Although I do have to say, in the whole topic of like they're talking about how humans could have a kind of magical evolution, is like, who's to say that the presence of magic in people isn't evidence of that evolution? Because we don't really know where non-tiefling magic comes from. Like non-tiefling arcane magic, rather.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have a lot of questions on this. My current guess is that it's just a random thing that occurs and no one really knows why, but that doesn't make it any less suspicious because there is probably a reason.
I mean, Gregor's theory makes sense. If humans consciously direct it whenever it appears in them, because we have that brain function, then if animals didn't have that same brain function, it would be more base instincts guiding that. And for them, the base instincts would probably be stronger, be bigger, get more food.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned to me that it was really nice for them to see what they had always taken to be Gregor in character again. Like that Gregor seemed more himself than he had been lately, which I guess just means more lighthearted and like not making us want to kill him.
Gregor versus monsters is like his general state of being. It's when the monsters get relative that there's a problem. Any theories they use, etc. Headcanons?
There was that AU for Danny Phantom a while ago.
That was a really long while ago.
No. I mean, like more recently, there was discussion between me and Thera.
Oh.
I think the only things we really discussed were that Ash would be the half ghost, and her stuff would end up being like plant based instead of frost based, the way that like the plant guy in like season whatever was, the one who possessed Sam or something. I don't know. Marcus would literally be a kid who got killed on Halloween doing something stupid and just repossessed his own body and pretended he never died.
He's Sylvanus! He's like Sylvanus, that's amazing.
And then Gregor would be like, he is teamed up with them or he is Valerie to them. He is like determined to fucking bring down these two ghosts who keep causing trouble. Ash will transform. Marcus will literally just ditch his own body and like hope nobody kicks it. And oh yeah, and Karen was Ash's mom. It was like if you reversed Vlad and Danny's parents. Karen is this cold, cutthroat bitch who uses her ghost technology and sells it to places because you don't want ghosts to steal your stuff, right? But she's the one who hires ghosts to terrorize places first so they want her tech. And then on the other end of things, you have Horvin, who is like Jack's personality, sort of, but with Vlad's half ghost deal. And he's the like ex of Karen's, who's like, holy, when he finds out there's a half ghost, oh wow, oh geez, oh man, somebody else fucked up this bad. And then it goes to, oh, it's the kid of the person who would literally slaughter their own offspring for money. And steadily rising concern. So Horvin is the awkward uncle who tries to teach her ghost things.
Was Thog, what's his face, the teacher dude?
Yes, he was. Thog was Mr. Lancer, who cursed in book titles.
Yeah!
I want to hear Thog doing that now.
I'm picturing it in universe and questioning what Alarani book titles would be.
I don't know. Probably not suitable for young ears.
I'm wondering how popular fiction is in like the TI world. Anyway, anything else?
I just have more trash on that AU because my childhood returns to me.
Honestly, if we wanted to do something by the same people, I could picture Fairly Odd Parents AU just because that makes me laugh. That's how like absurd it would be.
Oh God, no. Do you know why that's a no? Because Ash would be Wanda, and Gregor would be Cosmo, and Marcus would be Timmy. This can't happen. This can never fucking happen. No.
Does that mean Horvin was the army fairy guy?
Yes.
God
damn it. But of course, you know we have to be awful here because Thog would be Vicky.
I was gonna say Iggy would be Vicky.
The only thing I can think of to rhyme with that is Thoggy Woggy, though.
Okay, Inian.
Can I suggest? And then
Groggy Thoggy. I don't know, because he constantly seems like he's half asleep.
Can Thog be Mr. Crocker then?
Fuck yes.
Oh Lord, I love this. I love what I've done. No regrets. Hashtag no regrets. We're trying to think of other characters, and then it's like, well, there's parents, but everyone's parents are dead. What other prominent characters are there? I'm thinking of Kira's Poof, and that's really dumb, but also really funny. Because a baby fairy who enjoys explosions.
Oh, oh God! But that makes him. Oh no!
Alright, moving on before this gets even weirder. I mean, honestly, we just wanted to make a bunch of really, really fucked up AUs. Just like, alright, what is this show from our childhood?
I mean, I'm sure we could keep on going. Let's be real
Dexter's
here.
Lab.
Oh no, Dexter's Lab. Jesus Christ. Kier would be Dexter and Dee Dee at the same time. It just no paradox.
It doesn't work.
Also, that's a terrifying thought. It's like if Dexter was the ditzy one and Dee Dee was the sane one, it could work.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be as funny.
Yeah, no, it
That's
really
more
would.
like Phineas and Ferb than anything.
Ash is gonna bust them.
Yes. Shit, that's really good. I swear to God, Marcus and Kier, if you do one more invention tonight, I'm telling Horrivan. Or no, sorry, I'm telling Thog.
And I guess that would make that would
Gideon is
make
Doofenshmirtz?
Gregor the cookie scout girl.
Isabella.
Shit, yes. Yes, perfect.
Are you who would be Dr. Doofenshmirtz and who would be Perry the Platypus? That is true.
Perry the Platypus has to be Don't.
Lord.
She has a secret, there's a secret hatred between her and Kier, but they pretend to get along as soon as Marcus turns around, because otherwise he gets sad.
And if Kier wasn't, like, one of the main characters, he would make a great Dr. Doofenshmirtz. I was thinking about this the other day. How would Kier act if he was, like, 35% more evil?
He would be like the friendliest supervillain.
Yeah, and that's what would make him so great. That's exactly what Doofenshmirtz does.
I mean, I feel like there should be somebody else who'd be Doofenshmirtz, though. Who else do we have who's that goofily incompetent?
Anian.
Fuck, Colvin. It's Colvin. Colvin is Doofenshmirtz.
Colvin Sparks Evil Incorporated.
You know, oh no, we do know what his last name is. He just like instead of just having this Colvin, he'd always say his full name.
Colvin Ethos Young.
Evil Incorporated.
That's a
Or
mouthful.
at least Ethos Jung Evil Incorporated, because it's the exact same number of syllables.
Yeah.
But I will not do the jingle.
Ethos Young Evil Incorporated.
One of us did it. Thank you, Thero. You bit the bullet.
Oh lord.
I did.
That's like how the evil version of Doofenshmirtz has the scar and the other.
I never saw that, but now I'm curious. Jeez, we have no shame.
It's really funny though, just the stupid stuff they get up to in Phineas and Ferb, and just being like, "Yep."
So, Colvin as Doofenshmirtz, Kier and Marcus as Phineas and Ferb, not necessarily in that order. Ash as Candace, and Don't as Perry the Platypus, and Gregor as the Girl Scout. So that leaves oh man. I'm pretty sure that means that that our dear Bowel Ripper has to be that one bully kid. Like tiny, really fucking skinny and like effeminate looking Zeke is the bully who everybody's afraid of, but like will swap between being very introspective and being a jerk.
Now I have to look up who these characters are because I haven't watched an episode in like a while. Wow, there's a really long list of characters.
Isn't his name Buford or something?
Buford, that was it.
Idiot. Idiot could be Vanessa.
Oh shit, it's perfect. Fuck, it's perfect. I was trying to figure out, but that fits so well.
So that makes Ash and Inian singing that busted song then, I think.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It fits painfully well.
I'm just gonna laugh at this for like the next eon. I hope you all. I think this is great, but also at the same time, it's like I hope you're happy.
I am.
Anything else that we want to touch on other than just keep going with the absurd amount of characters in Phineas and Ferb?
I mean, we could keep going with other ones from our freaking childhood. Like, I don't know, toss some American Dragon Jake Long in there. We could figure something out.
Powerpuff Girls.
Oh god. Powerpuff Girls AU, I don't know if we're ready for this.
Yeah, I don't think we could handle it. I don't even remember half the characters in it.
I mean, there weren't that many. There was him, there was there's him, there's Mojo Jojo, there's the Gangrene Gang, which is a joke I did not get till I was older. There's the girls, and there's their father, there's the mayor, and there's Miss Bellum. That is all I remember.
The Amoeba Boys.
There's the narrator,
The teacher.
the Rowdy Rough Boys. I have the Wikipedia page of characters open now. Yeah, I don't know if we could handle figuring. I think a Powerpuff Girls episode, Powerpuff Girls AU would just be really, really weird.
Yeah.
Also because people like I am still just gonna pitch that I feel like the villain would still be Colvin. Colvin and Kier, I feel like, are like both like on the really hard on the good scale. But if they were evil, I think they'd be that kind of character about it. Like I would love to see them as evil. I had that entire thought the other day of like what would certain characters be like if they were pitched like the opposite way on their like alignment. Like what if Marcus was like lawful evil instead?
Hmm.
Alignment swaps for all. Oh my god, chaotic neutral Thog is not something we're ready for.
Chaotic neutral Ash.
What's Ash?
Ash is neutral, isn't she? No, she's either neutral or neutral good.
She's lawful neutral.
Interesting.
Okay, chaotic neutral Ash and Thog together unleashed on the world while a lawful evil Kier is preparing his army of death.
Yeah.
Alright, like someone has to put this forward for the Patreon thing.
I might do that next month because I'm really liking this idea all of a sudden.
If not, tell me that you didn't do it, and I'll like bookmark it as something for the future.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think about like what would I feel like Ash would just be like a mercenary. Like she'd be that kind of person. Oh god, what would Idian be? She's already unaligned. Would Idian be like the inverse because she'd be nicer, or what?
I don't know.
How would I don't? That'd be so confusing. How do you get the opposite of Idian? I guess she'd still be really like blunt and straightforward, but just really happy about it. Like
I genuinely don't know. It's kind of weird.
Nice Inian, or rather good Inian, and evil or chaotic neutral Ash. This would be interesting.
Ash would attempt to murder her probably 10 times as much. I feel.
I don't know. I mean, like, normally she goes worse around Inian, so would a reversed her go better around Inian?
She doesn't like. It's not. She doesn't go like more evil. She just gets madder. So I feel like it would have the same effect where she would just get really. I'm picturing like chaotic neutral Ash with a gun and like mail armor maybe.
Maybe she would have, like, armor that actually makes sense and would protect her from, I don't know, getting cut in half.
I'm picturing her with like a helm and a visor that like covers and she can close and remove, and then like her hair just like peeking out of the bottom of it and looking like a kind of like. Would this just be the cast in like a technology based kind of AU as opposed to a fantasy one? Like in a sci-fi world.
So you just want cyberpunk, basically.
I guess? I don't even like cyberpunk. It's just what I keep thinking of. Colvin would be chaotic evil. Think about that for several minutes. What does one even do with it? How would he even...
He would just murder everyone. End of story. We're done. Everybody go home.
He would just run up to people and punch them in the face and run away.
I think you mean punch them through the face.
I don't think he would kill people because that wouldn't be the fun part, but now I'm thinking like Zelvetta.
Zelvetta turning his life around, becoming a paladin.
Oh god.
And not an Alderani paladin.
I don't
a
think
real
he'd be a
one.
paladin as opposed to like a priest. Like paladins are like kind of more like I think it'd be more likely he'd still wear cloth. Like it would work better if he was a priest instead.
I'm just imagining him turning into Boar.
And Horovin is like what is he like neutral good?
He's gone from being Harvin the hero to Harvin the hated.
I mean, he's still been like saving people. He used powers in front of people, and right now no one's questioning it. It's afterwards that it's gonna all go downhill. I mean, if there's anything left to go downhill.
Well, it's not like they frown upon the usage of divine magic, because there are like healers who use divine magic in Honorance, like in the Rust clan. It'd more be the kind of lots of really bizarre, outrageous magic stuff, but I think he'd still get props for saving people with it. I mean, Marcus has a horn and tail, and no one really seems to care. A horn, horns and a tail.
Well, I mean, they don't now. Clearly, he's been places where it was a serious issue, and it did cause some problems in Alaron. Honestly, if Thog hadn't picked him up for that job that was going to end up getting him sold anyway, he probably would have been picked up and sold for something else.
Yeah.
Like, he was
fella.
lucky he made it that long. Probably just because no one wanted to be the one to bother with him.
What do we think will happen next episode?
I hope the group's gonna get back together. I don't expect that we'll see too much of Blue Cloak. I certainly don't think we'll see Blue Cloak, Ash, and Gregor in the next episode all together in the same place. We're gonna have to wait for that if we ever get it at all. I don't even think we'll see Blue Cloak and Gregor meeting in the next episode.
Blue Cloak seeing Ash and going, I cut you in half.
And Gregor
And
going,
Gregor-
you what?
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Gregor might roll with it. If it, like, his Outriders programming seems so ingrained, he might just roll with that and be like, oh, she must have done something to deserve it. Fellow Outrider who somehow survived says so. And, like, that could cause a serious fissure. Who knows? It could go either way. Because we know that, like, Marcus would not stand for that shit. Marcus would absolutely have a fucking issue with that.
I'm honestly picturing Aaron appearing, being like, I cut you in half, and Gregor decides and looks at her and goes, again? Because she was kind of reckless and kind of aggressive, and I can't help but picture that's probably what she used to be like as well. Like, he'd be kind of used to it by now.
We've had a talk about this.
Yeah.
We've had several talks. Am I gonna have to go talk to Vent? Oh.
And he just gets all sad.
I think that, yeah, there will definitely be more characters being added to the situations. I don't know necessarily if they will meet up. Because if, like, Erin is looking for the clan leaders, then she might go to the top of the rise. Because that's where there might be more clan leaders, or the clan leaders might actually show up, or who knows.
Everyone's heading to the top of the rise, it seems. So maybe we'll get everyone meeting up there.
Maybe we will defeat Zeth by pushing it off the top of the rise. There, problem solved.
I guess I predict that most people are going to make it to the top of the rise and there will be a fight. Woohoo!
Oh, I have one other thing I forgot. But no, I'm guessing that yeah, it was the start from the beginning that that Zeke wanted to hit the point where that would release all the gods at once. It would like cause this giant explosion. Maybe it won't even keep the gods in one piece. It'll just be an explosion of spirit energy, wiping the whole slate and starting clean, like leveling the city, scattering the essences of all the spirit folk that were already torn apart and leaving them to reform however they may, even like mixing together, and just like see how it goes this time. Like wash out the petri dish, stuff some new moldy bread in, see what happens.
Interesting analogy.
Maybe.
It would make sense with what Zeth had said before about creating new gods.
I'm honestly, in that vein, imagining all of, like, the essence of all of the spirits combining into one being.
Godzilla?
That might be a little, yeah. Let us say problematic and go from there.
I mean, Inian and Colvin and Zalvetta versus Godzilla while the rest of the party runs away. This sounds pretty much like most of their adventures near the end. Certainly sounds like the Gollum arc.
I feel like in that essence it's going to turn into, like, Attack on Titan or something.
One day those golems will find them.
If you'd like to listen to more episodes of the podcast, you can find us at spiritfolksaturdays.tumblr.com. If you want to join the TI Skype chat for issues and ask what their Skype name, we'd be happy to have you. Thanks for listening. We'll see everybody next week. Bye!
Bye!
Raven.
Bye.